r/ask Reddit by Ready Reddit. Expelled college students of Reddit. Why are you expelled? I spent too much time drinking and not going to class. I was a junior with a 1.6 overall GPA. A university said they didn't need my ilk around there and would open my spot for someone who would appreciate it. This got my attention. I went to the dean and talked with him for a couple of hours trying to get back in. He said no, 19 out of 20 of you guys go back to doing the same thing. I told him I would be the exception. He gave me another chance. From then on out it was 4.0 every semester. I finally got my GPA up over 2.5 so I could graduate. I made sure and went back to the dean's office to thank him and tell him that I was that 1 out of 20 that made it. I unintentionally got another student expelled. We were critiquing websites we had built when I noticed one that looked exactly like mine with a few tweaks. I popped open the source and noticed it was a line-for-line copy of my code with a few changes to the CSS. I brought it up to the professor to protect myself in case he noticed them, though I doubt I would have been suspected. Mine was more cohesive. The changes he did make didn't make the site appealing. Anyway, apparently it was his third time plagiarizing. After twice you go on trial with the school. If you don't get expelled then a third time is the nail in the coffin. Edit. I did not get expelled, haha. This is just a .3 road person anecdote. Edit 2. We routinely critiqued work in class. Most of our sites were built through CodePen. All he needed was any student's CodePen username and he had access to the code. I'm about 99.3% sure it's how he did it. I was making a search engine for our school teacher evaluation page. It absolutely blew up in popularity and a large portion of the school was using it, about 5k views per day. Essentially it was like Rate My Professors, except it used the evals that they force students to do at the end of the class as data. I also added features that made it more desirable to students. It became so popular that it was showing up on the front page of Google for certain teacher names. Some of those teachers had low ratings and got pissed off and complained. I had unintentionally violated IP laws because the evaluations were under password protections and my site was not. The only reason I didn't get expelled was because the dean of my department had my back. He did research and concluded the information should not have been private in the first place, then sent a public information request to make it so my project did not break the law. I definitely had people asking for my expulsion for a scary amount of time. I got thrown out after I graduated from a master's degree program. The teacher asked me out for drinks when I asked to talk about one of my papers. I turned him down. I had to take a class with him in my next to last semester and he tried to throw me out for plagiarism. I tried to press harassment charges and the ombudsman talked me out of it by saying I would be stuck in his class if I pressed charges. The ombudsman asked to contact administrators at the school and urged me to get an incomplete in the guy's class and just graduate next term. After graduation I'm getting ready to go on job interviews and I receive a letter telling me I have to enroll in 4 courses and get A's to offset the F the teacher in question wants to give me. I follow up and the teacher, who is now the chair of the program, elects himself my academic advisor and takes over the situation. He fakes my grades and tells me I have 6 weeks to complete the entire course all over again. He tells me if I do my best he will make it possible to graduate as it's mathematically impossible. I can't complete the work in time and he throws me out. I'm given permission to reapply and soon it becomes apparent they are not going to let me in to fix the situation. I contact the graduate department and meet with their legal counsel. I show them the faked grades, explain the rule violations, and inform them of my having reported the guy. They tell me to try to work with the program again, and then they will intervene. The program refuses any solution involving my readmission. The graduate dean allows me to file academic grievances and rules that there are lots of things wrong, but does nothing about them. He concludes by telling me I can either get readmitted or give a replacement course via transfer. I take the course and submit it. The graduate dean says they can't accept the course if I can't get enrolled. Dean rules the matter reviewed and closed. I sue the school alleging unjust enrichment. I provide all of the documents and records as it was all conducted via email and I have my student folder. These get certified via discovery. The school evokes sovereign immunity and says that, since the fraud and negligence happened more than 2 years before I filed, they are immune to prosecutions. Judge agrees. I file appeal. As of August of this year, it will be 10 years. Holy duck, all because you turned down some professor for drinks. You wanted to talk about a paper, for God's sake. He should not be a teacher. Thus is just another reason why college is ducked. Pay all this money and some creeper professor decides to duck over your life, and all colleges' judicial systems are ducked as all hell. Wasn't expelled but damn near. Junior year I took an elective class called Reading Fiction. Cool class, but the teacher was extremely strict and took the class very serious. I'm alright at writing papers, and this class involved heavy writing about writing techniques, symbolism, foreshadowing, etc. We were assigned to read a book that I can't remember the name, but I wasn't into it at all. I struggled to finish it and struggled even more to write a detailed paper on it. I slammed out the minimal page requirement and sources needed. It was not my best work, but it was serviceable. I get an email from the teacher a few days later saying he would like me to come into his office hours. He accused me of plagiarizing certain segments of my paper, which I did not, and was ready to send my case to the dean. Apparently some things I sourced in my paper were done incorrectly, which lead him to believe I straight copy and pasted from the internet. The second hour of office time was him passive aggressively calling me an idiot. Currently am aware of a group of international students getting expelled from my school. They've been whispering to each other during exams in another language, and as luck would have it, my professor happens to speak that language and has been slowly building a case against them without their knowing it. The kids somehow also got the solutions to every homework and exam last semester, which is very similar to what we've been assigned this semester. However, the kids are so ducking lazy they blindly copy whole solutions, not realizing numbers are different. Sometimes units are metric, and they answer in English, and one problem asked for something completely different than they solved for using the exact procedure to solve last semester's homework. They're absolutely ducked, and I'm kinda excited to see it. One of them had a 3.75 GPA, was on the verge of being auto-admitted to our MS/BS program. Has probably been cheating his whole college career. We're 2 semesters away from graduation. Plot twist, the advisor to that program is the instructor that is currently building the case against them. So basically that guy is mega ducked. Professor is a savage. He's been grading all their homework and exams like everything was fine, and one day unleashed a dossier of which justice to comb. Edit. Anyone interested in an update? Comb didn't expel anyone after all. They all just completely lost the homework portion of their grade, 20%, so they're probably all getting C's at best. I'm bipolar. Rocked college and got straight A's, while I was manic as hell, sleeping 3 hours a night for several years, drinking, drugs, partying and all that. Then I curled up in a dark hole and cried for several months and couldn't even hardly wake up enough to go to any of my classes. Got academic probation and told my advisors I had no idea what was happening to me. This wasn't the real me. Managed to pull off another year of straight A's and little to no sleep. Then I crashed again and did nothing but sleep for months on end, wanting nothing more from life than for it to end as soon as possible, please. By my own hand if necessary. This time I got kicked out completely. Fast forward a few more years of the mania/depression cycles, and it eventually got so bad that I stole a car while manic and drove 800 miles across the US on some paranoid delusional insanity. I thought I was phasing between alternate realities and the government was going to try to capture me and study me to see how I was doing it. Don't ask. Luckily I ended up in the hospital instead of jail, and I got diagnosed finally. Now I take a duck ton of medicine, and I'm not quite so crazy anymore. The NR/bipolar is leaking. Was expelled my second semester at a North US school. Think Michigan, Montana, North Dakota. It was my second semester being an older transfer student from the mid-Atlantic. I ended up slipping on ice and fracturing my femur, my humerus and 2 fingers on ice outside my apartment. I spent 3 weeks in the hospital during that time recovering and doing PT. Finally got home My apartment was 30 minutes away from campus, since I couldn't drive, nor did they have cabs I could afford or public transit. Ended up failing everything and having to move back home. Only a year later I find out about an office that can help you out with getting tuition back and expunging your record of classes due to medical issues. Had to wait a year to get back in. This year I'm finding myself in the same situation with aplastic anemia, but I only got diagnosed 1 week before my insurance expired. I'm 16 credits from graduation, and I'm stuck with the bureaucratic processes of trying to take classes of the summer. It'll probably take me to mid-July, which means I have to come back in the fall to finish up. I'm about ready to give up. Thank you for watching Ready Reddit. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more r/ask Reddit videos. Share your stories in the comment section below.